All right, first graders, your math book, pencil box so that you have pencil, eraser, and crayons. And today we're using our little foam pattern blocks again. All right, guys, lesson 12.6, find shapes in shapes. So use pattern blocks. What shape can you make with one hexagon and two triangles? So there are a lot of different shapes you could make with this, right? You could do a little guy with two ears. You could make kind of like a cat. You could stick them both out here, couldn't you? So there are all sorts of shapes you could make, I suppose. Now what you can't do is put them like this, because we kind of have to have a dividing line that disappears. And here, when the vertices are joined, you don't really make a line disappear. We want to try to make a side disappear. So you need to match a side to a side, not a vertex to a vertex. Do you see that? So don't do this. Instead, do this kind of thing. But you can make the sides connect however you want to, right? You got that, you got this, all sorts of different choices here for how that connects. All right, guys, so in the purple box, you can see what we're actually doing here today. Do you see how this is put together and we're taking it apart? We've done that kind of thing before. Today, you're going to be doing it with actual pattern blocks to use. I want you to remember, if you're tracing, and I should have said this on the previous page, please don't use a pen or a marker. If you're tracing, please be sure to use a pencil. Oh, that looks like my marker, doesn't it? I'll get a pencil that looks more like a pencil. Please be sure to use a pencil so that we can erase it if we get some marks onto our pattern blocks. So guys, use two pattern blocks to make the shape, right? You guys have played with these pattern blocks so much. This is just going to be ridiculously easy for you because you play with these in the classroom all the time. So you just look at that and you know what it does. So you actually, I mean, you could have all, I don't know, you could use all parallelograms for that, couldn't you? And then all triangles down here, except, watch, you're using two pattern blocks. So a lot of times I love it for you guys to be really creative and goofy and come up with all kinds of shapes, but it says two. And so, there are only two, right, that could make that shape. And over here, if you're just using two pattern blocks, there's only one combination that could make that shape. So next page, same thing. Notice it is two pattern blocks. So if it's two pattern blocks, you're not using a trapezoid to make that trapezoid. If it's two pattern blocks, you're not using three triangles to make that trapezoid. You need to do it with two pattern blocks. So get your pattern blocks. I mean, you guys know this, right? You know that it's going to be this combination. Go ahead and put it out. And then, of course, we're not putting it right on top because these are a little bigger. And you're going to be finding the spot where you can draw the line showing these two pieces are the ones that make that. So same thing here, number 5 and number 6. Now, number 7, it's just like what we had on the last page, but now instead of two pattern blocks, it's three pattern blocks. So I'm going to give you a tip here. There is more than one correct answer. So John might do it one way, and Jocelyn might do it another way, and Hattie might do it a different way, and Sawyer might do it a different way, and you guys could all be right. Now, what I left out up here, oh goodness, you see circle the blocks you use. So back up here, we would need to circle this one and this one, right? Because those are the blocks we used. And on this other page here for number 1, you would need to circle the hexagon and the trapezoid, and you'd need to circle stuff there. So make sure you get the circling done. This is pretty easy so far though, right? All right, make the shape below. Use the number of pattern blocks listed in this exercise and then write how many of each one you use. So use 3 blocks. And boys and girls, again, just like before, there's more than one correct answer here. So you could make that with 2 blocks, couldn't you? Whoops, not that one, this one. And so if I was doing this, if I had one that said use 2 blocks, I would write that I used 1 parallelogram and 1 hexagon. Now I don't have that one, do I? I have used 3 blocks. So I'm going to have to switch some of these around. Look, number 11, use 8 blocks. Now, guess what? You don't have all the right pieces for this. You're going to have to remember some and do some substituting. We're going to do this one together because you guys know that this here is 2 triangles, right? We've done that already. And you know that the hexagon is 6 triangles, don't you? Do you remember we did this one before? And I would guess when you look in your bag of little foam pattern blocks, you only have 6 triangles. So you're going to have to imagine this. You see 6 triangles, and then you'd need 2 more triangles for this one. The triangle is the smallest piece we have that'll fit, right? We have these. They might be smaller, but they don't fit. We have these. I don't think they're smaller, but they still don't fit. So this is the way that we'd use 8 blocks. This is the only way to do it. So you have to imagine there's 6 here, and then there would be 2 over here. You can't actually put them all out at once. So knowing that, look down at number 11. What do you need to put here? All right, you guys can figure these out because you can be a little more flexible with those. Down to test prep. Which 2 shapes can you use to make this shape? I think you've done that one before also. All right, guys, you are about halfway through with this chapter now, and then to the end of the book now. We skipped a lot of the book, didn't we? We're going to be trying to figure out how we're going to catch that up. But this is kind of a fun one to end the school year on because we get to play with all the little toys, don't we? All right, we will have more math tomorrow. Bye-bye.